Welcome to Catholic Charities CYO Camp and Retreat Center, home of Caritas Creek at CYO Camp, Catholic Charities Outdoor Environmental Education Program, and Catholic Charities CYO Summer Camp. My name is Paula. I'm the Associate Director of CYO Camp, and my primary focus is our environmental education programs. We've created this film to provide parents and teachers with a comprehensive overview of the program your students will be participating in during this upcoming school year. So please join me on a journey through a week of environmental education at CYO Camp. CYO Camp offers a blend of age-appropriate science curriculum aligned with the next generation science standards, and retreat-style activities fostering social, spiritual, and academic development for youth from diverse backgrounds.
I was a child here for years, and then a counselor in training, CNT, and then I was on staff when I was in college. And this place sparked something in people that's desired to be sparked, you know?
If this is your first time coming to Caritas, coming to CYO, first and foremost, 215 acres of redwood forest, 8 to 10 trails, but we're gonna spend a lot of time off of those trails. We're gonna spend time in the creeks.
Part of our program is also about mixing classes from different areas.
Being a somewhat city kid, not being able to see redwood forests and whatnot all the time, I think that it's really cool that we provide this super safe place to be in nature.
A lot of kids are coming from the East Bay, San Francisco Bay Area, suburbia, and being out here in a natural 215-acre redwood forest is not something they typically do on a regular basis. So getting them out of their comfort zone and seeing that change develop over the 5 days where they can be more comfortable in nature and have that confidence in who they actually are is really a big reason why I just continue to stay.
I was a camper when I was 12 from Pleasant Hill School, Christ the King, and we came up and joined another class from St. Bernard's from inner city Oakland. And so the boys that were in my cabin from Oakland, I still know all of them to this day. One of the unique aspects of the program is the community building experience, where focus is placed on recognizing the individual's unique gifts and strengths.
It's real cool to be in an environment that you get sort of a reset button.
Somebody may be perceived within a classroom as not being the athletic cool kid or anything, or maybe doesn't have a strong voice within their class. Throughout the week here becomes a genius. That pays back into the classroom. They feel that and want to then continue living that way or continue passing that on.
Through hands-on exploration, CYO Camp endeavors to illuminate the divine in all things and build empathy and understanding for the natural world. The experience begins and ends in the classroom, where students need it the most. Teachers have access to online documents that cover practical issues such as packing lists and consent forms, and introduce preliminary activities and concepts. A site director then spends 3 hours visiting the classroom, working directly with the students to prepare them for their time at camp.
I really love going to the classrooms because as a site director, we get our list of schools that we're going to visit, and the ideal classroom visit comes within 3 weeks of their visit to camp.
I get the opportunity to see them in their environment, an environment that they've been in for weeks, months, years, in a classroom with a teacher with the same classmates.
It's kind of like a little microcosm of the whole week of Caritas, that they get to experience at least a little bit of everything they should expect.
I like to bring a couple items from the forest, turkey vulture wing maybe, or I got a deer skull. And within the classroom, simply using their language, using their powers of observation, we're able to identify what these items are. That is without using a science database, without the internet, just by working in groups.
As soon as the students arrive at CYO Camp, the teachers will meet with our staff to discuss any medical concerns, while the site director sets the tone for the first themed hike of the week, the New Discoveries hike.
You can never forget that the group that you're with, maybe there's one school, maybe there's 2, maybe there's 3 schools coming together for the first time, that while this is happening, it's all happening to them for the first time.
The teachers really take that lead role in dispensing medications and being the liaison, communicating with the parents and families.
Helping us make the hiking groups, telling us about goals and specific needs of the class. With them, we're able to craft a unique week.
We have a repeater antenna on site.
We always have our radios. We have emergency frequencies that we use. We are always in communication, not only with other naturalists on trail, but we are also in communication with our office, our on-call staff.
Every teacher naturalist, site director, and administrator here in camp is connected to the same network.
All of our trails are close enough to a road so that if someone, twists an ankle or anything like that, they could get a ride back to camp. If anything more major than that happens, our nearest hospital is 20 minutes away. Definitely in nature, 200 acres of redwood forest, but it's still close to civilization.
When we review health forms, we look for very specific things. We look for allergies. All the teacher naturalists and site directors meet with the teacher, so everybody's on the same page.
Every single one of our staff members are first aid CPR certified. We do have lifeguards within our staff as well when it comes to spending time at the swimming pool.
There's a team effort and team support for the health and wellness of every camper here.
After the new discoveries Tone said, students are then assigned to an exploration group that they will be part of for the rest of the week. Each exploration group of 10 to 14 students is led by a college-educated, highly trained naturalist.
We break them up into 3 groups: meal groups, hiking groups, and cabin groups.
The activities we do during that hike are all about pushing them out of their comfort zone right away, and getting them bonded with their hiking group as quickly as possible, and that's what you always strive for.
A lot of the teachers will sit there with every name of every kid and start pairing kids up with people you think that they would either be successful with or challenged by.
That is something that our staff sees very much as a privilege, to facilitate that kind of exploration.
It's amazing that we're able to orchestrate such fine-tuned schedules with so many moving parts. For Outdoor Ed and Caritas Creek, our site directors drive the different schedules. We're able to know the location and activity of every camper at any given time.
The ratio of staff to children is so much smaller than in a conventional classroom that kids get this dose of divine love shot at them.
All passionate about kids, passionate about nature, and they lead groups of 12 through the entire experience. They have about 18 hours of field time with their exploration group specifically, and then they have other duties throughout the week as well.
You can't ignore the human factor of the group dynamics that are going on, that you have a naturalist that has a background in education, higher learning.
One thing I can say with a lot of confidence is that environmental education programs here at Catholic Charities CYO Camp, such as Caritas Creek, are unique to any other program I've ever seen.
After the 2-hour New Discoveries hike, campers return to our main facility to meet their cabin mates and cabin leader. Cabin leaders, like all the adults on the property, are background checked, fingerprinted, and trained for the role they fill. Our cabin leader coordinator is responsible for the cabin leader program and provides training, daily support, and supervision.
I first came to Caritas in 7th grade from my school in Antioch, California, Holy Rosary. Most of the people who work here, say at least 50% each season, have experienced Caritas in some other format before, whether it's they were a kid at Caritas before, whether they were just one of our cabin leaders for a week.
See it with our staff and just how they're playing with kids on the courts or going swimming and playing fun games. I think that's the main thing, that they truly do care about the kids.
When people come and interview, I think the way that we know how to interview and what to emphasize in an interview, that we can bring along people that want to have that growth experience.
This isn't a 9-to-5 job. This isn't your typical work environment where things behave predictably. We're a people-powered program. You have to be somebody who's all in.
The teachers live in a house called the Day House, located directly across from the student cabins.
They're also very involved in our community too. They can go on hikes if they want. They could try to see every single hiking group every single day.
Students and cabin leaders know to go to the teacher cabin if there is any need after 10 p.m., and the teachers have phone access to our entire staff, who live on site in separate housing. The entire team at CYO Camp is available to respond in case of emergency.
I believe that your emergency action preparedness plan begins with the selection of your staff. We need some assurance that our staff are going to be competent to make some of those calls and make some of those quick thinking decisions that are within the protocols of Catholic Charities CYO Camp. All the directors here at camp, we all live on site. We're always available and on call.
There's so many examples in a given week of Caritas where every single staff member gives 100% of their self.
After each hike, students return to our main campus, where they enjoy an hour of free time and an hour of electives. During free time, students can play sports, relax in their cabins, get a snack, take a shower, or just relax within the supervised boundaries.
Students ultimately, they have their free time and are able to hang out in their cabins, but the majority of our program takes place outdoors.
During electives, students have an opportunity to choose an activity they participate in, such as canoeing, gaga, archery, arts and crafts, and special offerings from our talented naturalists like yoga, dance, or music making. We have a fire drill before dinner on arrival day to go over safety protocol with everyone who will be on camp for that week.
We have some very specific scenarios and protocols around, like, say, a wildfire or even a foodborne illness or norovirus. All those protocols for all those scenarios exist. Our director of facilities for Catholic Charities is a 25-year veteran of the Sebastopol Volunteer Fire Department and a battalion chief. It really gives us some assurances that this is a facility that's as safe as it could be for campers and staff to enjoy.
After the fire drill, students gather in our lodge for dinner. The kids love our food. They eat breakfast and dinner in a big wooden lodge, and the food is diverse. There's like an Italian theme tonight and a Mexican theme tonight. In the mornings there's pancakes and French toast, and there's always eggs. We also have a salad bar and also a breakfast bar in the morning with cereal and fruit. After dinner, students prepare themselves for the evening activity. On Monday night, exploration groups will engage in a sharing activity, and then we'll join with the rest of the groups for campfire.
A large part of what we do at camp as well comes in the evening activities, comes through our sharing.
We talk about our feelings in a way that they might never ever get the chance to do.
Allowing a space for kids to feel comfortable in who they truly are.
It's very simply centered around 3 powers of active listening, no putting down, and finding trust.
Other nighttime activities include an all-class serendipity, a night hike, talent show, town hall meeting, and an all-camp closing celebration. After the nighttime activity, students reunite with their cabin groups to get ready for bed. The site director and classroom teacher rove around the cabin areas to ensure all lights are out and cabins are quiet by 10 p.m.
We have 24 cabins. Each unit of cabins, there are 2 that have an adjoining deck. These are very new. They offer dimming switches, they have heaters within them, windows to air out.
Each day, the site director will gently wake each cabin at 7 a.m. to begin another action-packed day. The cabin group will get ready for their day and meet at the lodge at 7:45 for breakfast. We have a program called the Waste Whiz program, and we have a little puppet house and a little puppet, and the students enjoy that. But then the naturalists have an opportunity to teach them about sustainability around food. Also, we have a bucket for compost, and then we have another bucket for food waste. Whatever they didn't finish on their plates, they scrape into one plate and then they put in this bucket, and we weigh it. And each meal, we have a goal for how many pounds of waste we have, and we try to just decrease that throughout the week. All of our food waste that we compost here on site goes directly into our garden. After breakfast, the site director meets with the camp to introduce the theme of the day and set the tone for the hike, while the naturalists prepare their curriculum for the day. At CYO Camp, we use lesson plans and an educational philosophy developed by a program of Lawrence Hall of Science called BEETLES. BEETLES stands for Better Environmental Education, Teaching, Learning, and Expertise Sharing. BEETLES student activities engage students directly with nature and encourage a scientific mindset, ignite wonder and curiosity, and help students fall in love with nature.
The beauty of classroom education is that so much research has been done in that regard. Research shows that if students are in a caring classroom community, they are so much more capable and productive, not only in terms of social emotional dynamic, spiritual dynamic, but academic dynamic as well.
Life that's here, the trees are so giant, but as a matter of fact, the majority, if not all of the life that we are going to explore is on the ground. It's underneath your feet. It's going to be smaller. We're going to be using hand lenses. We're going to be using our powers of observation, our 5 senses.
BEETLES activities are student-centered, include student discussions of science ideas, help instructors to be guides on the side, and empower students to continue exploring and wondering about nature after they leave the outdoor science program. BEETLES student activities are learning cycle-based, structured to facilitate students flowing through phases of learning.
I think the uniqueness lies in the next generation science standards-driven curriculum.
It's a real hands-on approach, specifically for environmental education programs.
Rather than learning any bold key terms here at camp, we're just exploring and being inquisitive.
It uses science as a lens to get them to see how everything in the environment is interconnected and how they are not apart from the environment, but they are the environment.
Well, we are able to facilitate exploration in terms of a scientific level of going out, being able to look at matter cycling, decomposition.
CYO Camp is interested in developing the mind, the body, and the spirit. So there's a lot of there's science activities, and there's retreat style activities. There's challenge activities, and then there's bonding activities. You bond as a cabin group, you bond as an exploration group, you bond as a class. Tuesday is Connections Day, and groups spend 5.5 hours exploring their connection to the natural world and the intricate connections and interdependence between living and non-living members of the redwood forest ecosystem. On Wednesday, students visit Bodega Head State Park to compare and contrast the rugged Sonoma Coast headlands with our redwood forest back at camp. Armstrong Redwoods, an old-growth redwood forest, is also an option and is the backup plan for the big rainy days. Thursday's theme is change, and students will explore a different part of our 215-acre redwood forest and discover how various characteristics and behaviors of organisms allow them to fill a niche in the ecosystem and survive to pass on those traits to their offspring. Just by breathing and drinking water, matter is cycling through them into the ecosystem around them.
It continues, and then their classroom environment is all the more productive, and they as individuals become so much more self-assured and recognize that they're called to serve their God, to serve one another, and to serve the earth. So beautiful things happen as a result.
During the school year, we explore, we go off trail, we investigate what's really going on with the life within this forest outside of just the human element.
We pull meaning out of everything, and we do things with intention.
We truly value the kids, value their time, and we don't waste it.
Here, I think we walk the talk, very strongly. And so rather than preaching, the kids get to taste God's love in community.
On Friday, exploration groups get together after breakfast for their final group closure and to prepare for the part they will present in the prayer service, if they attend Catholic school, or the part they will present in the medicine wheel ceremony, if they attend a non-Catholic school. The program is designed in such a way wherein every activity builds on the day and activity before it.
For the kids and for the staff, I'm taught things every day by the kids. They teach me every day.
At CYO Camp, we focus on values such as building community, solidarity, love, respect, inclusivity, positivity, kindness, optimism, forgiveness, finding beauty, having a good attitude, and just being the best version of yourself you could be. Also, of course, taking responsibility for creating a more sustainable planet.
Making the kids accountable and responsible for their own actions and responses, allows them to have their own freedom, allows them to experience more independence amongst themselves. They are capable of so much in this world.
Learning to treat each other with respect, working as a team and supporting each other.
It's 100% challenged by choice, but we put a lot of confidence in kids.
When we serve Catholic schools, we relate all that to God. When we serve a secular school, we just don't mention God. However, the curriculum is just as rich with these spiritual concepts.
The spirituality component to our program, I believe, is very holistic.
Every school that has a consciousness of what they want to promote in their students, things that not just academics address, but that have a spiritual energy to them. This place lives that out for them in a very intense fashion.
Wherever they are in their own spirituality or spiritual journey can participate and can engage, and hopefully we plant those seeds of for them to be inspired and to have an opportunity to feel God's love.
Principals will tell me that Caritas is the complementary piece to what they're trying to achieve that we can do so intensely in 1 week time,
Look into nature. I think that's one way to see God, for example, or whatever you believe in. I think it is a visual representation of what you may believe in.
I'm still filled with hope, and that comes from watching the kids that are here And then those that choose to stay and become CITs and become staff.
It helps them transition through life easier when you're coming up here in 8th grade. It helps you set you up for success when you move on, when you go to high school. And the community that you build with this experience, with this program, and the awareness that you get, that helps you grow in a good direction.
Part of education is like learning about the earth and learning about like the world. It's really important to instill like love for our environment and love for nature, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here, along with like love for others.
Those are seeds we're planting here at camp that we know will help our students and campers be successful at school, at home, in their community, in higher education, and later on in their careers.
This is what we want to save. This is what like keeps us alive. You know, this is worth like your time and your energy and your love.
I think we understand that in a special way that we can give that back to them.
This program that combines the spirituality, the social, and the environmental education that is special. It's one of a kind.
You just see an innocence in them. As I continue to better myself, I'm trying to better them, you know, and I think we're heavily invested because we want to see the children be their best self. You see every individual for who they are.
After the all-camp closing ceremony, each class gathers with their teacher and a naturalist for the final activity of the program week. For classes that attend a 5-day program, we provide a post-visit.
Our program is very intentional up front, during, and after.
Someone that maybe was a class clown can come out here and in an activity can be a leader that everyone respects, that everyone looks up to, that everyone asks for advice. Someone that before that week would never know the other side.
You know, CYO Camp is accredited by the American Camp Association. It's a voluntary accreditation process. So we adhere to over 250 standards. That's above and beyond what's asked of us for our organized camp permit.
Kids, staff, everybody experiences that here. And it keeps them coming, or it stays with them for a lifetime.
Your classroom teacher will send you a link to all the necessary forms and documentation on our website, including a packing list. You should check the weather, and if rain is in the forecast, rain pants and rain jacket are extremely important. They do not need to be expensive, but they definitely need to be waterproof, not water resistant. Also, extra old tennis shoes for Gaga are a must.
We keep all the lost and found for up to a month, and so if you ever find that your children don't come home with the same things they left home with, just give us a call. Or if you decide to label your child's clothing with their full name and the phone number, you don't have to call us, we'll call you.
Students have the opportunity to get away from screens and electronics for a whole week, so please don't send anything electronic. Pack a bag lunch on Monday, but we don't allow any food in the cabins, so don't pack extra food. Also, please no peanuts. We're a nut-free campus. We just had our 70th anniversary, so this is our 71st year of operation, and the camp is going strong. We have a capital campaign, we're improving our buildings. Our summer camp as well is increasing in numbers each year. Things are going great. We're going to be around for a while. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. I'm available to answer any questions, so please don't hesitate to contact me by phone or email. The team of CYO Camp is honored to have the opportunity to work with your students.